Alright, gonna try and keep this short, and I hope that I can keep focused because I haven't really slept. I came home late and there was drug fucked people arguing in the car park. Yeah, ridiculousness. But anyway, that's city life. So, focus. Okay. I was social. It was a work thing. Now, work things can be pretty tricky because the group dynamics require a lot of lubrication to get going. And so, yeah, alcohol is definitely involved, and drugs very often. In this case, there was no hard drugs, it was just weed and alcohol. So my plan of approaching this particular thing was I was just going to go straight from work, even though it's Saturday, but I'm working 6 days at the moment. I went straight from work to the park where we were going to have the event. And so I was the second one there, which meant that as the rest of my workmates arrived, I was a feature from the beginning. So, it's not like I arrived to group dynamics go on. The group dynamics were developed with me there. That changes a lot for me personally and for group dynamics, how it works. Another thing I did was I got some non-alcoholic beer. Not because I wanted to be like, oh look, I'm also drinking beer, but because of the way this puts people at ease just by having the same shaped object in your hand as other people. It makes you feel like you're taking the effort to participate. You're not excluding yourself any more than you have to. And the best thing is you only need 2 or 3 maximum because it's not alcoholic. So you really are literally drinking it for the aesthetics and for thirst. When then you find out you really don't need to drink that much. As the joints started to be rolled and consumed, this got a little bit trickier. We had some games to play, some bocce. So when they started smoking, I started playing, bocce. So at least I was away from the group and but only like 10 meters, to the playing area. And then we started making our own rules. But focus. Sorry. And then when we came back to the group, the initial starting of smoking kind of like, gets going. Then it sort of hits a phase where it slows down in the middle. And all I had to do was make sure that I wasn't downwind of the smoke, And I do the same when people are vaping or smoking cigarettes anyway. So it's not so hard, but there was more for my sake of, now I know that there's not going to be anything altering with my perception of things. Give myself the greatest chance of not getting irritated or taking out the unknowns, so to say. After a few hours, it started to rain, so we had to seek shelter under trees. So this brought the whole thing in a lot, which made the dodging of the smoke pretty difficult, but was still manageable. And I actually am always prepared with a raincoat anyway, because I have a bicycle, so I could just put that on and I could always, get out of the cover of the tree when needed. I'm not made of sugar, so I don't mind getting wet. But then they were all going to head back to a workmate's place, and yeah, they all invited me and were like encouraging me to come, and you know, a lot of them are drunk and stoned, so everyone gets touchy-feely, huggy, you know, which is great, but really, I don't want to be hugged every 5 minutes. I love hugs, but I just, you know, quality over quantity, you know, and so what I do is I say, you know, look, all these drunk people, you can hug all of these as much as you want, but if you ever want to hug when you're sober, you can come to me. You know, and they laugh and carry on, but it's also true. Like, I'm happy to hug you sober. I don't really want to hug you drunk. I don't, you know, and that's another side thing. Anyway, so they're really encouraging me to come, you know, applying the peer group pressure, and this always activates a part in my mind where it's just like, fuck you, don't try to make me do what you want me to do. But just let that be in the background, you know, and I very politely and respectfully said like, no, look, I know that it's just going to get different for me. Once we get inside into closed rooms, it just becomes more intense for me. And even though I could sit there and everything will be okay, it's not so relaxing for me. It just becomes more work for me to actually process everything. But I also really expressed how I felt welcome there, and that's the main thing, that I felt welcome, that I could come and that it would all be cool, and that's the most important thing. And I expressed how I really enjoyed myself hanging out with the guys, and yeah, being a part of our work social gathering. And then I went home. Hugs and high fives and blah blah blah. Home, completely sober, completely relaxed. Perfect timing. And now that I think about it, you know, I feel very proud of that, because I don't know if you've seen my other social activity posts. You know, my big thing is where I'm always trying to hang on for that little bit longer to stay. I'm trying to I'm fooling myself into thinking, yeah, it's alright, and then it gets to a point where I have to leave. And this time I was literally like, I could come, but you know what, I'm gonna go. And I think that's a win. I think that's a win. I think the whole thing is a win, quite frankly. Yeah. There's some points there that are worth paying attention to. I hope you can figure out what they are. I can't even remember what I just said. I'm gonna edit this. Fuck. I'm gonna edit this and see what happens.